Hi friends, this is Steph. Welcome to my kitchen. You know, Thanksgiving is only a few days away, and even though I'm not entertaining this year, I still want to enjoy some of the dishes that are associated with Thanksgiving, and especially I want to have some green bean casserole. Did you know that the green bean casserole was created in the Campbell's test kitchens back in 1955? If you go on the internet and look up the green bean casserole, just look at the Campbell site and you will see a little write-up about it, and then you will have the original recipe. The creator of it was a lady by the name of Dorcas Riley, and she did it in 1955. So this dish has been around for over 60 years. But the ingredients have stayed the same: some cream of mushroom soup, milk, soy sauce, black pepper, green beans, and of course the crowning jewel, the French fried onion rings. So what I've got here is I'm only going to be making about half of the recipe. So I've got a can of green beans, some cream of mushroom soup. Here are the French fried onion rings, a little bit of soy sauce, milk. Now I'm only going to make a small change, but I just want to try it and see how it tastes. I'm going to take a little can of mushrooms and saute them in some butter along with some onions, and then just combine everything in a bowl here, transfer it to a buttered dish, and then bake it at 350 degrees is what it says, for about 25 minutes. But I'm going to put a piece of foil on the top at the beginning, and then take it off, add a few more onion rings, and I'm also going to do a little bit of buttered breadcrumbs, and then just let it get nice and brown and crunchy. So okay, let me start with the mushrooms and the onions here. Okay, it's time to add the mushrooms and the onions to the mixture. I already have the green beans and the cream of mushroom soup in here. Then a little bit of soy sauce, about a half a teaspoon, maybe close to a teaspoon. And also a little bit of milk. And because I'm only making half, I measured out about a third of a cup of milk, but I'm just going to stir it first and check the consistency. I don't want it too soupy. Yeah, I think that's enough milk. And of course, you have to have the French fried onions. So I'm going to stir this all together and transfer it to the buttered casserole. Okay, this is going to go into a preheated 350 degree oven, and while that's baking, I'm going to go ahead and prepare the breadcrumbs. I have about a half a teaspoon of butter here in the skillet, and I'll be adding the breadcrumbs to that. Okay, the breadcrumbs are just very lightly toasted and the butter is all melted in there, and now I'm going to add almost a cup of the French fried onion rings. Just stir it together and set it aside until it's time to sprinkle this over top of the casserole. Hey friends, while we are visiting today, I wanted to do a short product review. Some of you may remember that I bought this set of measuring cups and measuring spoons some months ago. They're made by the Fiesta company, the company that makes all those beautiful dishes that just are like collector's items nowadays. They're so well made and their colors are so vibrant, and that's what attracted me to these measuring cups. So when I ordered them, I started using them, and I realized they have an engineering flaw. When you're working in the kitchen and you're measuring something out, what do? You measure it out and then you set it on the counter until you're ready to use it. Only not one of these cups will stay upright. Even if you have flour or oats or something in them, they still will tip over. The handles are too heavy in proportion to the cup, and that applies to the 1 cup, the half cup, the third cup, and the quarter cup. So although they are absolutely beautiful, if you're looking for measuring cups, I'm really sorry, but I cannot recommend these. It was really disappointing because, as I said, look at the colors, even on video, how beautifully they show. You know, a nice green, orange, red, and blue. And then I also got the measuring spoons. They're okay, but the print on them is very, very small and hard to see. So what I may do is I have a fine point black permanent marker, and I'll have to, you know, outline the measuring, or the quantities. I'm sorry, my tongue is not working properly. But anyway, so these are okay. I would give them a 3 out of 5, but these are definitely only a 2 out of 5. So I think if you're looking for measuring cups, you might want to look somewhere else. And they're a little bit pricey too, so that makes it even more disappointing. Okay guys, I will see you later. Okay friends, it is bubbling nicely, and I'm just going to top it now with the onion rings and the crumbs. Okay, spread it around a little bit. Okay, there you go. And it's going to go back into the oven for about 5 or 7 minutes, and I'll show you when it's all finished. I know this is still pretty hot, but let's just take a, oh, listen to that crunch. I guess I'm into crunch here recently. Okay. Yes, it's so hot it's still steaming, but that's okay. What do you think? All right, let me take a bite and I will give you an honest opinion, okay? Okay, let's give it a try. I've got some mushroom right there and a green bean, and it's a pretty big bite, so give me a second to chew it. It's good. I know if you like green bean casserole, you're going to like this. Hey guys, thank you so very much for staying with me today. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I will see you soon. Okay friends, it is Tuesday the 26th, and it's a couple days before Thanksgiving. As I showed you earlier, I made the green bean casserole, and now it's in the refrigerator. I put a big pan of bread cubes into the oven to dry for my stuffing. And then, oh, I have a little bit in the bowl already that was super dry. Here I have some onion and celery. I'm going to dice that and put it in a container in the refrigerator, and that will go into my stuffing. Let me see, I also have a few walnuts and then orange, and I want to chop the walnuts pretty fine and grind up some of the orange, and I'm going to combine it with some of my cranberry sauce. I think that'll taste really good. I'm also hoping to be able to make a cheesecake, and I'm going to use shortbread cookies for the crust. I will pulverize them in the food processor, combine them with some butter, and then I'll store them in the refrigerator too until I'm ready to bake. And then the filling is going to be cream cheese, eggs, a little bit of milk, and flavoring. And I'm going to crush up some of these, they call them the butter style dinner mints, and I'm going to put that in there. And so, as I said, today is just kind of a prep day. I'm trying to get as much done as I can so that when I start cooking, everything will be ready for me to use. My food processor is going to remember these. So let's put a few in and see what happens. Whew, okay, I don't think that'll do it. I'm going to have to try to crush them by hand. Okay guys, well this would be a lot easier to do if I could do it in my food processor, because these little guys are really, really hard. I've used the food processor to crush candy canes, but for some reason these are really resistant, so I have to do it by hand. Okay, I think this is enough. This is very, very finely chopped with a few larger pieces. And then this is a little bit more coarse, and I'll probably reserve that for the toppings. Anyway, these are going to go into containers, and I'm going to move on to chopping up the celery and the onion. Friends, we got a lot done this afternoon. These are all the little prep jobs that are actually the ones that take a lot of time. So we made crushed cookie crumbs, and this will be for the crust for the cheesecake. We're just going to put some butter in there and press it into a spring form pan. And here are the butter mints that are going to go into the batter, and then I left some coarse to sprinkle on top. Here is a great big pan of bread cubes for stuffing. I had it in the oven for a little while on very low heat. They're still just a little bit soft, but I'm going to leave them out and just cover them with this cotton towel overnight. Let's see, what else did we do? Here are the chopped orange and walnuts that I'm going to combine with the cranberry sauce. And then here is onion and celery all chopped up nice and small. I will be sauteing that in a little bit of butter and then combine it with the bread and the giblets and everything for stuffing. So I think we got a lot done and ready to go on to the next step. Okay, it's 5 to 2. And I just put the turkey in. I haven't even turned the heat on. I have it double wrapped, and I have a sheet pan underneath lined with foil in case there are any drippings. So I'm going to turn it on to 325 degrees and let it cook for 3 or 4 hours at least. Friends, it is 20 after 7, and I just now pulled the turkey from the oven. I don't know what was going on. It just wouldn't bake. I put it in a cold oven, and the turkey itself was cold. But for almost 5.5 to 6 hours of baking for 11-pound turkey, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right to me. This thing never even popped, so I don't know what happened, but I think I'm done videotaping for today. All right, I'll see you. Okay, just one more short clip. This is the cheesecake that's going to be going into the oven right now. And this is going to a friend's house, so I made myself a couple little mini cheesecakes. They are vanilla with crushed peppermint candy and then some chocolate ripple. Okay, my friends, I keep thinking of things to tell you, and I should just hush up and get my dishes washed, but amazingly, as much as I cook this thing, I have it all cut apart. I have the carcass in the freezer. I drained off the juices, and I tasted some of the white meat. Amazingly, after all those hours in the oven, it tastes delicious. It's flavorful and moist. This was a honeysuckle white turkey. I baked the cheesecake. I just took it out of the oven. I let it rest in the oven after I turned the heat off for just a little while. It's still a little tender in the middle, but that's exactly what you want. So I have to let it cool here in the kitchen for a while, and then, I'll put it in the refrigerator to chill overnight. Hey guys, how are you doing? It's Steph. It is December the 4th. I think it's Wednesday. And can you believe that it is already 6 days after Thanksgiving? I really need to get this little video put together and share with you. So I'm just going to let you know what I'm doing this afternoon. I have lots of turkey left over to eat, and unfortunately I run out of cranberry sauce, and that just cannot be, you know that. So I have 2 bags of cranberries here, and I've got the sugar, I've got my jars washed. I'm just going to put them in the oven to heat them up. Here I've got my lids, my lifter, the pot that I'll be cooking the cranberries in, and then I'm using my pressure canner pot as a water bath canner today. So I've got a couple of inches of water in there. I just turned my burner on underneath it to start heating the water. I'm going to turn on the stove on 200 to sterilize my jars. And after I do that, the next thing I will do is rinse the cranberries and then combine them with sugar and water in this pot here. Oh, by the way, I wanted to tell you that while I'm working on the cranberries in that, in the meantime, I'm thawing out one of these mini cheesecakes that I made last week. I made 3 for myself. The other one was to give away, and I've eaten one, and it's absolutely delicious. So yes, you could definitely freeze cheesecake. Well, friends, I got 6 half-pint jars, 1 4-ounce little jelly jar, and then about a half of one of those just for eating now. And of course, there's nothing better on turkey or poultry than cranberry sauce, but you know what? It's also good just on butter bread.